Hey, it's Matt from Black Coal Woodworking. Welcome back. Today I'm making a spurtle, and throughout this video you're going to see several clips of slo-mo, like this one. And it's to help show what I do and how I do it. This is also my own little tutorial video for myself. I'll usually make a bunch of these things at a time and then I don't have to make them for a little while. Anyway, step one is actually finding the exact size I want, which is 1 inch, and using my beading and parting tool with a caliper. And then I would go to the rough and gouge just to save changing tools. And then I'd switch to my skew chisel to get a nice clean surface. I usually take a good rough heavy cut and then another lighter pass just to make sure that I've got a very clean surface. If I don't do that, the rougher cuts can sometimes chip out some of the wood, and that's because the wood is very dry in this case. Once I'm down to round, I usually work on this end first, and that is to mark out where the narrowest part of the spurtle goes, and then to cut the bead or half bead for the very end so it's nice and round, and then I'll work on shaping the rest of that knob using a peeling cut with a heel to help reduce that material much quicker. After that, I've got to take a couple of passes just to smooth it out. This one again to me felt more like a roughing pass, and then just to clean it up ever so slightly. Just makes sanding so much better later. And since I'm on this end, I'm going to do some heavy cuts to blend the end of the spurtle in with the middle. Spurtles originated in Scotland, and they've been used to make porridge for a very long time. They're considered the better than a spoon. We use it to make porridge, plus also soups and stews and noodles and all sorts of stuff. On to the back half. Here I need to rough down to round again with the skew, and that's just to try to get that final clean cut. And I'm trying to blend the overall diameter with that part at the end that I used a caliper on. Again, using my template, I mark out where the bead's going to go and then start to cut the bead so I know where I can blend the parts around it. On the left side of the bead, I thought I did pretty good, got it pretty round. On the right side of the bead, note to self, got to work on that one a little more. This one got a little lumpy. Now I've got to fix that when I sand. To blend the handle into the bead, I use a bead kind of cut here to get the handle portion down to where I want it to meet that bead. And then I use a straight cut aiming at where I left off to create that straight portion for the thistle or the handle part. On the other side, it's really just taking heavy cuts to work my way down to blend this side to where I want it to meet the bead as well. And apparently I needed to tighten things up a little bit. As the wood gets thinner, I've got to take less heavy cuts because it's just going to bend and cause a very unique pattern on the wood as I cut. Moving on to the wood burning part, which is kind of fun. It's really just a guitar string wrapped around 2 pieces of wood that act as handles so I can pull that with ease. And I really just pull until the thing burns and I'm happy. The wood around the bead is fairly narrow, so I'm using the heat generated from the first 2 burn marks to speed up the burning around the bead. On to finishing. I did sand up to 240 grit, and it's time to add the only finish I put on these, which is really candy coating, also known as shellac. For the dismount, I'll try and cut as much of the end off as I can. Sometimes like this, I'll hold the bevel of the skew against the wood and rotate it towards the center. It gives a great cut, and I don't have to use a slicing cut there. So now that it's thin enough, I make sure it's thinner above where I want to cut off, not right at where I want to cut off. If I go too close, it will pull out the end grain, and then I've got a hole in the end of the piece. Now I'll sand the end, add shellac, and here we go. It's the finished product. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.